So I wasn't going to take a video today because the state that I am is not acceptable to this other space, right? This is the sacred space. And we're so funny. We're funny creatures. And I had something else in mind. Yesterday I had a topic that I wanted to bring up. And it just shows to prove yet again the field chooses. And I can make whatever plans I want to make. I am free. It's not going to work out. So after I gave myself the space that, today is just one of those days. It's not unstable, but it doesn't feel empowered and high and fire, It's just very raw. So it just feels like a day that I just want to be in the bath tub and just be left alone. And after I gave myself that permission, because I already pushed myself and it's like, okay, it's nothing really works. Just take the day, do whatever. Shortly after that, the field is like, no, these are the moments. The rawness, this is what wants to be expressed exactly, precisely. So it's kind of a reminder, first off, that this is where our power to recognize ourselves, that strength becomes transparent, because that's the true strength, right? There's many types of true strengths, but this one that doesn't come from willpower and force is just this quiet trust of holding. You know that it holds, and you can rest in that holding, and you can feel how strong that lattice of the field is. It's very raw and it's uncomfortable. So what I seem to want to talk about is this communication between us and the universe, the field, right? Not something out there that is separate from us. It is us as function, as form, as structure, as unfocused awareness, right? As a wider knowing. It seems that when we are able to come into this alignment with our intuition, and I think this part we get right, and we got, or it got easier for us. We can come into the alignment. We can intuit, feel into the body, become clear from neutrality, when nothing is pushing or pulling on us, and we're able in that moment to make a decision. Sometimes I think it doesn't feel like a decision, and we forget that we actually made a decision, or we saw something so clearly that it was like, yes. And that's all it takes sometimes, to just recognize, and you decide in that moment. And sometimes it truly is a decision. Like, I think it was 2 days ago, and this is why all this is happening now. I was feeling into my body, sacral chakra in particular, and I'm like, yes, I would like more expansion in this specific area. And it was a definite yes. Let's expand. I'm softening. I'm allowing that expansion. And last night, it started arriving. Today it landed. And maybe this is why sometimes we're confused. It used to take months, then it took weeks for anything to happen, for anything to move, right? From an intention, from a request. Now it's literally the next day, because when you're capable to be so clear in the neutrality of the moment, then the field has that promptness to respond, and it's literally the next day. Now, this is the part that I guess I'm still struggling with it, and I think this is why the field is like, okay, expand into this landing part, because we're not understanding that we started that conversation. Here's my ask, my decision, and I'm not talking about older intentions where we're formulating things like, I need an opportunity in my career, I need this or that, or I desire a deeper relationship. These are broader with a lot more curiosity in them, and it almost feels like it's a non-intention. That's why I'm kind of using, it's more like a clarity and a decision. I'm finding that's the new intention, right? From non-intention. But when it lands, it's just the field responding back, right? And now that things landed for you to see, and as usual, things in the first part of the wave land with clarity in what is not aligned anymore to your new alignment, things that are obsolete. So instead of getting into this rah, rah, rah of fixing, of solving, of introspection, how did I get here? What decisions caused me? What's the cause? Yeah. To get here, the field is literally watching you for your next clarity, for your next direction, because there is a pause for you to clarify. So I'm saying, can you take this invitation and not make the new aligned you about the past? It's hard. Because we try to bring that relationship that we held with ourselves from the past, and we're trying to decode it and untangle it. Now it seems when a new alignment happens and a mile marker or a marker, whatever, was kind of anchored within a decision, you can fully let go of even the responsibility that you have to the past version of you, which it could mean the you 2 days ago. And again, it's kind of like a tricky concept at first, but it's like, am I willing, the me today, to take responsibility for the decisions, for the desires, for whatever, for the me that got me into those situations. No, I'm okay to be that not applicable. I'm not fighting it. I'm not healing it. I'm honoring it. I'm honoring she got me where I am today, right? It's always that. So it's like that is my first approach to the response that I'm going to make. And I'm not sure what my response is, right? In a logical, articulated way. But I'm going to open the space and I'm going to enter this conscious dialogue with the field. And even when I don't know in words what it is that I want to talk about, I can sit here just with my approach alone, which is I'm not engaging. I'm not engaging in this. And it's not from humility, right? Or to maintain the peace or to, I'm not mistaking harmony with quiet. This is field talk, right? When I'm in the field, I'm talking energy to energy. And at that level, I am not interested to engage with dysfunction or just conflict. What's the other thing? Like this anxiety static thing, interference, right? Like all that stuff that creates a busy signal. I'm not giving it any extra power. That is enough. That is, and just you with the breath, you showing the field that actually I'm showing myself the field is fine, it knows. But I'm showing myself that my capacity has increased and I don't have to brace, I don't have to regulate and project and kind of control my regulation for this conversation that is happening right now per the old regulation. My capacity has increased. I know that because I'm riding a new wave. I just started a whole new conversation. So obviously my capacity to hold and the speed, maybe the density of what's coming and not so much the speed, have also changed. So I can loosen and I allow this wave to pace itself because I trust it. I trust that it knows to unfold at exactly the rate that is just perfect. Right? Because my first instinct, I guess this is where this is coming from. My first instinct was, please arrive slowly and gently, or something like that. And I had a dream and all this stuff, and I'm realizing I'm regulating ahead of time. Because I know what it would, I know what it took from the previous waves that we're trying to land and manifest, right? So, given the efficiency of our nature, our egoic structure, let me just apply that to this wave. And it's actually creating more interference, actually the only interference. So this is the response. I'm open. I'm open and I trust and I allow that this wave is just perfect. And when I close, and by closing, that's not the right word. It's like I'm sealing, right? I'm just putting my stamp on that meeting. Now I can really soften in the 3D, in the body. I can totally release. Because now the ball is in the universe's court. Okay, how are you going to reply to my last reply? I just want to note that this conversation that I have with the field doesn't mean that it's one-to-one to what happens in the 3D. Because I already had that conversation, I might be more vocal, but my vocal is not, oh, I'm going to tell that person how things are with that sass, right? And no, it's vocal because things need to change, but now it's vocal from non-defensiveness, non-reactivity. It's a response without me thinking all this out from a controlled mechanism. It's an energetic mechanism. And the body and the ego, they're more allowed to make mistakes because the field, the grid, holds the energetic structures. So even though, let's just say, we do make a mistake with the next move in the way we are vocal or the next action, it doesn't go very far. It doesn't have power to have harsh consequences that, they're just kind of like puss. They might appear like they're a big deal, or there might appear that they're mistakes, but they find a way to solve themselves in a way quicker unentanglement, because the field that you have sealed, or you already sent that conversation, doesn't have the lattice, doesn't have the resonance to match that action, so it won't hold. At least this is my experience. I don't know, is it always like this? In how things work in my world, this is how they are. So I learned that I can be a little bit more free in navigating the 3D, and I'm not holding myself almost in this fear mode and not acting many times, right? Because it's like, but is this the right decision? And as we know, in more situations than not moving at all is worse than just moving. And I'm not talking about making big decisions, just tiny bits, right? Baby steps. But those baby steps are the beginning of momentum, right? But when we're so fearful of even those tiny steps, we're going to delay that, and we're going to create a stopping in this back and forth conversation between you and the field. Because we're still learning the language. So it makes that sense, right? But we're learning this translation between when I meet the field, energy to energy, or consciousness to consciousness, right? How does that translate into the 3D? We're starting to get the parallels. So yeah, it won't be perfect, but when we look at it from this space of I'm learning a different language, then we're giving ourselves more grace to move about our own unfolding. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful even in days like today when I just want to dig a hole with some hot water and not speak a thing. So I hope this will find you at a time that you need this message. Maybe I should have started with that. But let's just speckle that in there. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day.